5 members of parliament and several public officers are currently behind the bars on charges of corruption, with more investigations pending at CID Chibuli. This follows President's intensive campaign against corruption in the country. In the recent address to the executive arm of government at the National Leadership Institute, NALI, President Museveni emphasized the need for the judiciary to support his efforts in fighting corruption by denying bail to suspects involved in serious offences including corruption. However, legal experts, referring Section 75 and 77 of the Magistrates Act and Article 23 of the Constitution on the right to bail, oppose the President's proposal.
Because bail is not the issue. Number two, government needs to live within its means. So while we are saying we are fighting corruption, we see still government expenditure on motor vehicles. We see some of these issues don't then tally well with citizens. So as Uganda Law Society, we disagree with the fact that you should deny someone bail simply because they have been accused of corruption. Anyone accused in the criminal system has the right to be presumed innocent, has the right to go through a fair process of trial. And one of the ways of going through a fair process of trial is that when I apply for bail, unless there are circumstances that warrant me not to be given bail, I should be given bail. So while we support the government's fight against corruption, and which we do as Uganda Law Society, and we have come out and said that consistently, that we need to deal with corruption because ultimately it has an impact on the citizens and it has an impact on all of us as citizens of this country. So it is important that this fight against corruption is supported, but let that not be used as a way to deny people civil liberties.
Maybe the president is saying that for the all years he has been fighting corruption.
Yeah.
People are still engaging in this vice. At least this time he's saying that let's do this. We shall see whether even those the would-be perpetrators. When he said that those people that members of parliament and those ones who are facing corruption charges shouldn't be granted bail. As a lawyer, what does the law say? Are you seeing President's move biting these people or?
The right to apply for bail is constitutional, and the different laws also provide that in the event that you are accused and the matter is bailable, you can apply for bail. However, the President's remarks on corruption have been civil, year in, year out. He has put up so many units to fight corruption. He has put up different policies and different ministries to fight corruption, but it has failed. Why is it failing? And why does he think that when you deny someone bail, it will work? It may not work. It is simple. The lengthy talk will not stop the fight for corruption. Corruption destroys the moral fiber of the society. That is what he should understand.
Yeah, denying bail is not the way to fight corruption. I think we need to make that point clear. Denying bail is not the way to fight corruption. Yeah. What you need to focus on as a government is to ensure that you strengthen your investigative arm to ensure that when you take these people to court, they are actually convicted. Because it can be misused. It can be misused. You can be denied bail for political reasons on the assumption that it is just an allegation. Because if we take that approach, it means tomorrow someone can wake up and say, you are now accused of corruption. Then you go to court and you apply for bail, and because the law says you cannot be able to grant bail, you are not granted bail, and yet it is a false accusation. And that is why you have a court system that we as Ugandans agreed through the 1995 Constitution that we've set up a judiciary. That judiciary will give us the right to a fair trial. That among those rights to a fair trial is a right to apply for bail, which is based on the presumption of innocence. So I think for me, we shouldn't use the fight against corruption to deny civil liberties. We shouldn't use that.
To combat corruption, the President has introduced several anti-corruption units, including the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, the Tax Investigation Unit, the State House Revenue Intelligence Corruption Unit, and the Accountants and Audit Unit. Despite President's initiatives, lawyers maintain divergent views on the effectiveness and legalities of these measures.
It takes two people, first of all, to fight corruption. There is one who is giving, there is one who is receiving. So the obligation is not just on government, but also on each of us. But government has a higher degree expected of them because they control the means, they control the financing. Are they truly transparent means? These are the questions we must be asking. If we look at our budgets, are there cases of wasteful expenditure which are not supposed to be there, especially when we are all saying we do not have money? But is government working? So government must walk the talk. There is a tendency to say we are fighting corruption, but then you look at the people who have been appointed in different positions, have maybe, for instance, a track record of corruption. Then people and citizens will not take that very seriously. Yeah. So it is important for us to be able to focus on ensuring that we actually walk the talk. Yes.
So if someone is accused of a corruption offense or involved in any corruption issue, let him be arrested, charged, produced before court, and the law takes its toll. Otherwise, we cannot be discussing corruption as a mere talk. Yeah.
If we talk of the law, what does the law say if someone is being brought to court and is charged of any offense?
The law provides for the right to bail. The right to bail is constitutional. It is your constitutional right to apply for bail. It may be denied by court, but it is your right to apply for it. But we have seen so many reports and no action has been taken. We have seen people who have been arrested and then released. You get it? So I think it just needs to have an upper hand. People should be brought and charged as the law provides. It's not about an issue of the president feels you should be denied bail. No. It is what the law says.
Number two, government needs to live within its means. So while we are saying we are fighting corruption, we see still government expenditure on motor vehicles. We see some of these issues don't then tally well with citizens. So as Uganda Law Society, we disagree with the fact that you should deny someone bail simply because they have been accused of corruption. Anyone accused in the criminal system has the right to be presumed innocent, has the right to go through a fair process of trial. And one of the ways of going through a fair process of trial is that when I apply for bail, unless there are circumstances that warrant me not to be given bail, I should be given bail. So while we support the government's fight against corruption, and which we do as Uganda Law Society, and we have come out and said that consistently, that we need to deal with corruption because ultimately it has an impact on the citizens and it has an impact on all of us as citizens of this country. So it is important that this fight against corruption is supported, but let that not be used as a way to deny people civil liberties.
Maybe the president is saying that for the all years he has been fighting corruption.
Yeah.
People are still engaging in this vice. At least this time he's saying that let's do this. We shall see whether even those that would be perpetrators.
If the president's proposal influences the judiciary, it could mean that the 5 members of parliament, including Paula Kamba, Yusufu Mutembuli, Sisen Namoju, Michael Mawanda, and Wamakuya Mudomi Ignatius, as well as other government officers, may not be granted bail. This is not the first time President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is proposing to deny bail to suspects involved in serious offences, which issue prompted Imeuta Supreme Court Justice George Wilson Kanyaihamba to file a suit in the Constitutional Court. Although the petition was dismissed, Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.